Alright, let's quiet that down a bit. There we go. We got one of you that in here. Waiting on the other one, huh? No idea. No idea if Frank's alive. Alright. Message him real quick. Alright. Gotta do that. My hopes today is to get to the first dungeon. So, bringing up the quest list on another monitor real quick. And I'll do this as... Sure, machinist for now till I level it to 81, then I'll pick a different job. Anyway. Let's go. Ah, he is alive! In the Crystarium. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and start reading quests. Yep. Leroy Jenkins this shit. Anyway. I have Kryle's instructions in hand. If you are ready to set out, then so are we. Having been to Thavnir before, I can travel by Aetheryte. But what of the rest of you? Another sea voyage would waste time we do not have. Kryle was of the same mind, and has already secured the aid of the good folk of the Confluence. We'll take ourselves there. Confluence, thou sayest? I'm afraid so, my friend. Thou wilt recall the hunt for Iceheart, unto whose sanctuary we delivered thee owing to the knowledge of our comrade Moonbrita. Moonbrita was an authority on aetherology, a field of study she did embark on in pursuit of her parents' example. Both are authorities in their own right, and both are researchers at the Confluence. Haven't you gone to see them yet? I attempted to do so earlier, but to my shame, my courage failed me at the last. As it hath the many times I thought to reach out to them after sending that fateful letter. Neither time nor introspection have revealed unto me the words I should speak, and thus have I kept my silence. Whether you come with us or no is your choice and yours alone. If it's too difficult, we'll manage. Thou art kind to say so, but I have no intention of forsaking our cause. I shall go to the Confluence, and I shall face that which hath long been overdue. If it's settled, then let us be off. When we arrive, we should look for a researcher named Keith. Well, now, this is a rather lot of stern faces. Are my library books overdue again? Not to our knowledge. We're associates of Kryle of the students of Aldessian. We seek passage to Thavnir and understand that you can assist us. Ah, yes, the test subjects. Welcome, welcome. Subjects. Oh, you hadn't heard? Well, then allow me to explain. In order to travel to an aetheryte, you ordinarily need to be attuned to it beforehand. Otherwise, you can't use it as a beacon to seek out while you're in a mass of ether hurtling along the life stream. An inconvenient but inconvertible limitation of aetheryte teleportation. But what if I were to tell you that there's a way to travel to an aetheryte without being attuned to it? A way to teleport instantly to places you've never been. For long years, we've labored to make such travel possible, that people might move about more freely. And we've finally done it. We've created a new kind of aetheryte that doesn't require attunement. Truly, that changes everything! Well, my language may have been a bit misleading. The new user need not attune to these aetherites, but the aetherites themselves must have been pre-attuned to each other, thereby facilitating travel between the 2 points. But it just so happens that our first test pair of aetherites, one has been installed here in Sharlayan and the other in Yedlimad, a port town in Thavnir. As you may know, our nation has long maintained strong ties with Radz-at-Han, and indeed, we owe much of this breakthrough to the contributions of their alchemists. So to sum up, we're to test these aetherites. How fortuitous for you. I should mention that an accident has impaired my ability to channel ether. Would this be a problem? at all. As a matter of fact, you might say these aetherites were made for people like your good self. The magic's imbued within whilst will whisk you away without any further effort on your part. A veritable dream come true. And far be it from me to worry about such things. Do we have permission to make use of your shiny new invention? The only permission required is yours, assuming you're willing. We're all set. It may come as a surprise, but we actually struggle to find test subjects. Most people seem to have an unreasonable fear of their souls gradually disintegrating as they drift helplessly in the life stream. In the statistically unlikely event that something goes awry. But plain that you aren't most people, Mr. Skrile truly knows how to pick 'em. If I might change the subject, are Master Wilsfin and Mistress Blowida not present today? Oh, you didn't hear? They've recently resigned their posts. Their expertise was needed elsewhere. A large-scale project helmed by the Forum itself, as I understand, but I'm not privy to the details. I see. Any other questions? No? Then let's get going before you change your minds. Please, see to your preparations and head outside to the Aetherite Plaza. I'll be along shortly.
Right, we're all set. Just the 4 of you, was it?
3. I'm already attuned to the crystal in Thavnir.
You are? Oh. I would have preferred more test subjects. Oh, well, never mind. If our 3 travelers could line up here, please? Yes, right there is fine. Take a deep breath, and I'll soon have you soaring through the ether. Oh, and one last thing. You might experience a teensy-weensy touch of violent ethereal sickness. Good luck!
What?
Here we go. Halfway around the world.
Thavnir, home to city-state Rads at Han. Rising from the southeast waters of the Bounty, this Isle of Plenty served as the battleground for a conflict between 2 peoples. Their cultures bled into one another until a unique amalgamation was distilled from the chaos, in a process not unlike their precious alchemy. Once solidified as a single nation, an adamant stance of neutrality would hold invaders at bay. For a time. Now across this vibrant isle creeps a fog of malice. What choice do you have? What chance? Against such an insidious foe.
The Hangover, Part 1.
I've seen fairer faces after a bout of bad shellfish. Let me bring you something to drink. That should help settle your bellies.
There was a note with Kryle's instructions. Don't let a Stinian roam the markets alone. He's alarmingly bad with coin.
Manage to will yourself to your feet, but given your condition, will you be able to reach Justinian in time? Alright, let's go find Justinian. Run, 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 run! Wrong way. Ah, there he is. Oh, shit. You there, I need 3 drinks, something that helps with ether sickness. But by the Nusia, a traveler, I mean greetings, greetings and welcome. You are wise, good sir, to come to me. My special Amralassi, made with only the finest, freshest ingredients, is famed for calming unruly bellies. By way of a warm welcome to Thavnair, I'm pleased to offer it to you for the low, low price of 19,800 gil. Not 1, not 2, but 3 bottles. A bargain amongst bargains. Price is high road robbery, and you want to say as much to Estinian, but you realize any words of warning cry out would be accompanied by your last meal. Alright, I must deny that the deal is fair. I thought you could barely stand. What do you need to tell me that's so urgent? Wait, I shouldn't buy these? This merchant is swindling me? Sincerest apologies, sir. I appear to have my prices confused. It's actually 1,890 gil for the 3 bottles of Lassie. That confusion would have been quite costly for both of us. Very well, then. Your coin. Here's a bottle for each of you. Take them to the others and get some rest. I'll be back after I've explored the town. But I thought you'd been here before. Speaking of been here before. Praise be to the 12, my stomach doth loosen its death grip. My heartfelt thanks to the Endostinian, and to the fine fruits of this land. You were in time? Excellent. You spared us Tatar's wrath. Sweet, sweet release. If you haven't already, you should have yours too. Right, I'm ready to get on with it. The lassie truly works wonders. Back on your feet, I see. Thy hair. I bound it. This is the most I could do against this heat, short of shedding my armor. May I ask where you got the cord for it? A local vendor, the man said it's a Thavnarian weave. Tough and not easily unraveled. And how much did it cost? 9,400 gil. A steal, I was told. It's nothing fancy, but I've always valued function over form. That's incredible. I dare say not even Alphino could hold a candle to you. Not uncommon for merchants to set their prices high. I'm inclined to agree with thine assessment. It doth seem excessive, unusually so. Yep, he's worse than Alfie. Claiming Thavner as its dominion, the nation of Radzit-Han hath long thrived and as a hub of commerce. In the beginning, there were the Arcasadora, a Matonga tribe indigenous to this island. Over time, they came to be joined by other races, and through their intermingling, a culture rich and distinct did emerge. From alchemy to textiles, the products of Hanish culture have come to be celebrated and coveted the world over, a development only aided by the nation's prime location as a waypoint betwixt east and west. All that hath combined to make a trading power of Radzit-Han, yet such a status cannot be taken for granted. Nay, it must needs be maintained through judicious governance and stringent regulation. Neither of which I see any evidence, given that merchants are at a gateway town are free to fleece hapless travelers and tarnish the reputation of the nation at large. Just so, that opportunistic pricing is rampant does suggest that oversight is much weakened. Mayhap that the people have fallen upon hard times. Whatever the truth may be, it would be prudent to ascertain the current state of affairs. Prudent and practical, aye. We've naught to lose but by learning more. So ere we seek out Kryle's acquaintance, shall we see that information we can gather here in Yedlimad? Excellent. We didn't exactly get off to a flying start, but we'll make up for it. Right, let us split up and make inquiries in town. Magnarmus, the pier is yours. Once we have learned what we can regroup by the Aetheryte, off-putting though the mere sight of it may be. Let's go. This crate is laden with fruits, but they are on the verge of spoiling, as if they have been left too long. Gazing out from the pier, you spy boats moored off nearby isles with the silhouettes of large seafaring vessels further away. Compared to other ports you have visited in the past, there appears to be very little activity. So no one's coming here and buying shit is what I've learned. Yeah, that's gonna be like the end of the stream almost, I think. We'll see. What am I doing? Oh, recording my sales. Still do it daily out of habit, though I don't know why I bother. Hardly sell anything these days. Business has never been this terrible, but I suppose things could be even worse. I have a consortium to keep afloat, like Calzal. I don't envy his position. Better to be alone with my little operation, I've come to realize. You're a traveler by the looks of you. If you have a moment, perhaps you could pay Calzal a visit. He'd be glad for tidings from abroad. Like as not, you'll find him at Saltwind Sails, the harbor guild building across the water from here. Go there soon enough. First, I gotta find the last... Aha, there we go. You there. Well now, if it isn't a traveler, you're a rare sight in these unsettled times. People have been giving us a wide berth since that accursed tower suddenly appeared out on Nuranar. If it just stood there and loomed ominously, perhaps things would be fine after a fashion, but no, it had to spawn 12 fiends as well. We still have our lives thanks to the Radiant Host, but business is as good as dead. What'll become of us, only the gods know. Alright, let's speak with the Calzal. The Damascans aren't coming? We've already have everything they ordered. What are we supposed to do with it? I don't know, but yelling isn't gonna help. All I know is that their plans have changed, and that's that. Look, you must have known this might happen. The Empire is at war with itself, and the provinces are in chaos. And then there's the tower sitting on our doorstep, spitting out monstrosities. The city has its defenses, but we've been afforded no protection out here. We can't blame foreigners for not wanting to take the risk. But this will be an enormous loss. Alright. Forget about the Damascans. Surely some ships are still coming. We have fresh produce, handcrafts, medicines, all the perennial Hanish favorites. Our consortium works closely with with merchants and artisans to supply only the finest wares. Quality is guaranteed. I know all these things, Calzal, I do. Which is why I regret to say I have nothing for you. All voyages have been cancelled or indefinitely postponed. And you are? Wait, you're a foreigner, are you not? A merchant? Please tell me that you're a merchant. Nope. I see, that's a shame. I'm sorry, but we're discussing important matters. If you need something, please talk to one of the others. Excuse me. My name is Matsuya. I'm here to see Calzal. Oh, it seems he's busy. I'll come back later then. Yes, can I help you? I remember seeing you back in the guild. You wanted to speak with Calzal too, did you? I'm Matsuya, a fisherman of Akyali, a nearby village. I sell my catch to Calzal, who offers it to foreign merchants, but he hasn't bought anything for a while now. When I heard that the consortium had been struggling, I became worried and decided to come and see him. Just as soon as he's free anyway. He's a hard-working man and I dare not disturb him. Alright. Genus hit 81. Let's do Summoner. Oh well, I need new gear for this one. If I may ask, what is it that you do? An adventurer, you say, and you travel the world helping people? Then that must mean you're great at dealing with strangers. Please, won't you teach me to be like you? You see, I've brought some fresh fish with me, the portion I couldn't preserve, and I wanted to sell them. The problem is I'm terrible with people. I've ever only dealt with the Kalzal, and I can't talk to customers without getting my trunk in a twist. So please, as silly as it might sound, will you not peddle the fish in my stead? Show me how it's done. If you're willing, please let me know. We can begin at once. You'll do it then? Show me how you deal with customers. I'll be in your debt. Right. Please try peddling my fish to, shall we say, there are 3 people here in Yedleyman. I'll observe you and learn. Alright, let's go try selling fish. How many fish did you sell, Frank? Yes? Greetings, friend. How fare you of late? Greetings to you too, I suppose. Well enough, given the circumstance. Things have settled down somewhat. But it was an utter chaos when that tower first appeared, everyone grabbing whatever they could, trampling over each other to get to the city. Many remain there for now, but I could not stay away, had to come back, continue with my life such as it is. Whether or not it was the right choice, only time will tell. Oh, trust me, I don't make sure to keep well clear of the tower, and when the monsters emerge from it, I heed Radiant Host's instructions. I hope they deal with it soon so we can get back to normal lives, to the days when you could earn as much as you gave, and tuck into a meal satisfied that you did good work. Speaking of meals, why not have some fresh fish today? Fresh fish, you say? Oh, you're a fishmonger. You bait me like that, how can I not bite? Very well, give me some of your fish. I sold a fish. Thank you for your custom. The catch of the day is Shallow's cod, delectable stewed in coconut milk or baked in a sprinkle of salt. Alright, I sold 1 fish. Let's go sell another one. Come, Matsuya, we must go and sell fish. This real quick. I need to gear up my summoner, so there we go. Here. All right. A hawker. Are you? Do you sell fruit by chance? If so, I want to buy some amra. Let's say a dozen. They don't need to be expert quality. What do you need so many amra for? Why, for eating, of course. It may seem like a lot but of late I go through much in no time at all. I'm a stock taker by trade. With no vessels coming in these days, the wares are beginning to pile up. By the same token, nothing is coming from overseas. Not a day goes by that someone doesn't come asking when the next shipment is arriving for this, and that this and that. All of this wears me down, and I find myself feeling constantly hungry. How you feel? Thank you, a pity you don't sell fruit, but I enjoyed our little chat. Oh, I failed. Never mind, if nothing else, you left her with a positive impression. Let's move on to the north side of town, shall we? Damn, I hit the wrong option. Yeah, you can pass with 0 out of 3 fish sold. Let's see if I can sell this one. What is it? If you don't mind, I'm rather busy. Oh god, my stomach. Ether sickness? No, just nothing unusual. I'm in my hurry to get back to work. I just ate a little too quickly. You should take it easy. Eat more slowly and savor your food. Would that I could, but I can't afford to be idle. Like as not, circumstances will surely get worse before they get better. So I'm working hard as I can while I still can, the better to be prepared. How do you intend to prepare? By stockpiling supplies. For that, I need to earn coins so I can buy food, medicine, what have you. Do we have anything suitable, Matsuya? Oh, we do have some dried products too, with Havnarian cucumber and papaya fish. They're the last of the batch, so if you're interested, you can have them for a discount. Really, by all means, I shall take them all. Ooh, I got 2. Made a sale. Again. You remember what I told you earlier, that I preserve what I catch. Which serves to show the importance of being attentive. Thank you so much for your demonstration. It was truly an eye-opening experience. Come, let us return to the pier. Come, Elephant Man, we must go. And there we go. Thank you so much for showing me how to talk to customers. You managed to sell 2 of the 3 people you approached. Adventurers do indeed have great conversational skills. Watching you at work was very enlightening. By applying the lessons I've learned, I hope one day to peddle as well as you. Still, there's only so much I can do alone. I hope that things will return to normal for Kalzal soon. I thought I heard a familiar voice. And who should it be but Matsuya? Kalzal, have you finished your business at the guild? So you were there too. Forgive me, try as I might, I can't find any buyers. With no ships coming in and hardly any going out, there simply aren't any options at this rate. So you can't buy my fish anymore? Sorry, Mattia, I truly am, but for now you must peddle your own goods. But by myself, I can't. You're gonna have to, bud. I want to help you, I do, but as it stands, I can barely help myself. I've poured my all into this into the consortium, and I'll be damned if I let it fall apart. I have friends and families depending on me. I can't. I won't fail them. The sisters is my witness. Also, not to worry, using what I've learned from you, I'm sure I'll manage somehow. Well, I had best return to my village. My thanks again. Please take care of on the road. But alright. I see you've been busy. Managed to learn the tidbits to a trust. The economy seems to be failing here. I see. So we all heard that the tower is affecting many locals' livelihoods. But to think that it would be so much to such an extent. For another notable, if not wholly unexpected discovery, disappearances and kidnappings are disturbingly commonplace. As before, the culprits are almost certainly tempered Imperial soldiers. And as before, they mean to use the faith of their hapless thralls to call forth a lunar primal. Business as usual for the Taloparoi. That Matsia fellow you were helping. He's our Casadora, is he not? Apparently it is almost exclusively his people that are being kidnapped. Could he be traveling alone? If summoning this perpetrator's aim, it doth stand to reason that our Casadora would be their primary targets. 'Tis the faith of their ancestors which prevaileth in this land, and many are devout adherents still. We'd better go after him. Acula lies to the west, as I recall. The same direction as Cryos' acquaintance, incidentally. It's settled then. Keep your eyes peeled while we make for the village. Let's go. Do not see Matsia nearby, but the elevated ground up ahead may provide a better vantage point. Alright. See him from here either. No, leave me alone! Somebody help! I see his voice and it came from the north. Enjoy that. Huh? Where did they go? Why are you here? I see you found him in time. You and your friends came to look for me? I don't know how to thank you. On my way home, I took a moment to stop and rest, think about what to do and about, well, everything. And then those men came. Kidnappers. We heard that the Arcasador are being targeted. Surely you have as well. Perhaps it's best if you took refuge in the city. We've considered it, me and the others. But fishing is all we know, the ocean all we have. I see. That's your decision to make, but you should take care to not to travel alone. A question, if I may. It is our understanding that strange fiends have emerged from the tower. What canst thou tell us about these beings? Not much, I'm afraid. I have no idea what they are. But I've heard that some bear an unsettling resemblance to our divinities. For that reason, some have taken to calling the tower Zot. House of Divinities in the old tongue, it means. But they're not true divinities, they're monstrous imitations that bring only death. To have one's faith so twisted is a grievous indignity. In full justified art thou in thine outrage. Know that 'tis for no other purpose but to neutralize the tower that we have journeyed to this land. In time we may be forced to contend with these false gods, and thus we would learn all we may about them. Wilt thou not tell us about thy divinities and their true nature? You have come all this way to save us? Really? To think I had you peddling fish? But to answer your question, yes, of course, we would gladly tell you about our gods. I say because I'm a terrible storyteller, and I'd ask my fellow villagers to do it. So please, come to our village. We're good, God-fearing folk, all of us. We'd be honored to share our knowledge. And fish! What sayest thou? Shall we pay a visit to Akyali? Wonderful, just follow the road west and down the hill. You can't miss it. So, 'tis the simulacra of Thavnarian gods that are being summoned. If any doubt existed before, there can be none now. The kidnapped Hanish are imprisoned in the tower. I pray that we will be able to save them. Though indeed saving them will mean confronting their false gods, like as not. Aye, as you said, we do well to study their religious traditions to Akyali. There, and speak with Matsia again. Welcome to Akyali, my friend. The name means white beach. And there isn't much here to save that. But please, make yourself at home. Your companions have already begun talking to everyone. Feel free to show yourself around and do the same. Any of us can tell you about our gods. But you could do worse than to start with Kanga and old Hasveda. They're free at the moment, as it happens. I really don't like that book. You wish to know about our gods? What a curious visitor you are. Most want fish, and in any case, I'm happy to oblige. Now, I don't know how it once you hail, but our isle is home to many gods. They can be divided into two groups, the Manusia, beings of wisdom who assume the form of men, and the Murnga, beings of might who assume the form of beasts. Together they are divinities, their forms and personalities many and varied. Some are kind and gentle, others stern and temperamental, just like we mortals can be. All are possessed of great insight and experience, and by heeding their teachings, we strive to be better than people and live better lives. Interested in learning about our gods, you say? Heh, that's what I like to hear. Pick up your ears and listen, then and listen. In ancient times, the Manusia and the Murnga, deities who look like men and beasts, respectively, were locked in conflict. Eventually, seeking the wisdom of the Manusia, the Murnga cast aside their own heads and took up those of their foes. Likewise, the Manusia coveted the might of Murga, and so they too resolved to trade heads. Thus were born new gods possessed of both might and wisdom, and they ushered in an age of harmony between the two factions. From then on, as a sign of their esteem for one another, the Manusia have worn animal faces and the Murga the limbs of men. There you are, learned a thing or two about our gods, I trust. While you were off talking to the others, I remembered that something that may be of interest. If you could let your friends know, I'll go and fetch it from my home at once. Apologies for the wait. I wish to show you this hanging scroll which depicts the three of our most revered deities. By all means, we would like to see it. They are the Manusia. You heard about them already, yes? 3 sisters. The center one is the eldest, Sindruva, goddess of wisdom. For this, alchemists hold her in the highest. To her right is the middle sister, Sandruva. As a goddess of wealth, she counts many traders among her followers. And the one on the left is Mindaruva, the youngest sibling. She provides over the crafts and is beloved by weavers. Although each is worshipped for different reasons, the sisters are usually portrayed together in these works, which people keep in their homes for great fortune. In like fashion to the Manusia, the deities of Eorzea preside over a myriad aspect of life. And what of the Murga, if I may ask? The Murga hold power over nature in ages past. They were revered as guardian deities in times of conflict. If you have occasion to visit our temples and ruins, you'll find their images there. Among them is a god possessed of a Gaj's head, and he is venerated as the progenitor of the Arcasadora. And then there are dragons, occupy a special place in our history. You worship dragons too? It is said that an ancestor of the satrap, that the ruler of Razahan, forged a covenant with a dragon divinity in ancient times. This divinity has since acted as the guardian deity of the satrap. Legend holds it that if ever the satrap is in need, his dragon ally will fly to his aid. Dragon ally. You claim to be a terrible storyteller, but nothing could be further from the truth. The passion you bear for your faith is plain to hear. I am confident that the information you've given us will serve us well in our efforts to deal with the tower. That's very kind of you to say. Thank you. I will pray for your success. I believe it's time we sought out Kryle's acquaintance. An alchemist by the name of Nidhana. According to Kryle's notes, we are to find her at a place called the Great Work, further north along the coast. Did you say you're going to see Nidhana? Oh, how I envy you. She's a brilliant and beautiful, kind and understanding. And did I say she's beautiful? I could stare at her dainty ears and adorable trunk all day. And those eyes, when you meet her, take care if you don't drown in them. Oh shit. Just dumped myself in the water while, There we go. Anyway. Oh. What the hell happened here? And down. Everyone's down. Bloodbath. My god, it's an epidemic.
What happened here?
Their dress marks them as alchemists. I see no evidence of injury or poison.
Thinkest thou they but slumber?
I believe so. Whether it is by choice is another question entirely.
Oh, we have guests. You must excuse the poor welcome. Long days and longer nights have taken their toll, as you can see. I am Vashan, servant to the satrap. My task was, in fact, to wake these good men and women, if you will allow. People of the great work, I come bearing new scales.
Scales? We have new scales?
Yes, my friends. Gather round. I have them right here. Oh, happy thing. Now I can continue my experiment.
Many thanks.
One for me.
Those are dragon scales.
Yes, such materials are vital to their most pressing research.
And we are fortunate to have them. Our experiments are so close to bearing fruit. Soon we will have a talisman capable of nullifying the etheric emissions from that accursed tower. Did I say something wrong? Are you not here with Varshan? Wait, who are you people?
Cryo sent us and told us to look for you.
Of course! You're the one Cryo sent. The warrior of light we've been waiting for.
Oh, this is a day of celebration. Praise be to Cinderova!
The winds have shifted. I feel it. The end to our toil is near.
I feel it too. My head hasn't been this clear in days.
Tell me, how did you acquire those scales?
Curious that it concerns you so. But worry not. They were freely given by the dragon with whom our satrap has forged a lawful pact.
That is well.
You must be quite familiar with Dragon King, yes?
Is this their congealed blood I see on your weapon?
Speaking of dragon blood, you yourself have been infused with it, have you not?
I should like to draw a file or two, if so. Now, see here. Come along, come along. I must insist that you visit our laboratory. Cease your shouting.
Estinian's off to
So
get
help me.
experimented on.
Oh dear, your poor companion. What with the new scales and your timely arrival, my colleagues are a little giddy with excitement. No harm will come to him, I promise. Meanwhile, shall we find a quiet place to talk? As you may have guessed, I am Nidana, the alchemist who sent a request to your Mistress Cryle. We have workshops across the nation collaborating on this research project. But it is here, at the Great Work, where I collate our results. Come with me, all of you, and I can explain the crux of the situation.
Alright, first, I need to do this. Nidana. Allow me to thank you for answering our call. Many towers have appeared around the world, and we are grateful that you would assist us with ours. Though Cryle herself is tied up with another investigation, Magnomus is an extremely capable substitute, and we will spare no effort to aid you. So if I understand correctly, you seek to make talismans that can nullify etheric emissions. Indeed we do. As you know, the tower emits vast concentrations of ether. One cannot go anywhere near it without being tempered. As such, we can only study the tower from afar, and are powerless to deal with it in any consequential way. In order to strike back, the satrap bade us alchemists to create an enchanted talismans that will allow our soldiers to venture into the tower, even should they lack innate protection. Could such a thing be possible? Admittedly, we are still in the midst of testing, but we are quite confident. Even prior to this, our people have long pursued countermeasures against the etheric corruption of primals. Of the methods tested to date, those utilizing dragon scales proved the most promising. Owing to their etheric density, the scales are highly resilient to disruptive forces. The mightier the dragon, the greater the resistance. We seek to amplify this protective property through our alchemy. Thanks to the scales provided by His Excellency, we have been able to make steady progress with the talisman. Soon we will be able to conduct a field test, and here is where you and your blessing of light come in. Whatever it is, just leave it to me. Thank you. Lest you wonder, we only ask that you serve as an escort. I will explain in greater detail, but you will be venturing into the tower's field of influence. And so, for your own safety, I would first test how well your blessing shields you, with your permission, of course. In that case, Oriange and I will find other ways to make ourselves useful. Seeing as you all work to the point of collapse, I suspect you could do with more hands. We would be grateful for any assistance you could provide. If you're ready, then let us put your blessing to the proof. If you exit the Great Work and turn south, there will be a hill to the right. I will meet you at the top after seeing to some preparations. I hope that you didn't have trouble finding this place or climbing the hill. Not all are accustomed to the physical strain. I give you the fruit of our sweat. Tears and many sleepless nights, the drunken Deepa. A Deepa is a lantern presented to the gods as an offering. Taking inspiration from the tradition, we created this device to test the talisman's efficacy. Upon activation, it will move a certain distance before emitting a powerful blast of ether. In lieu of corruption, those lacking sufficient protection will experience severe ether sickness. For your test, you will be exposed to 4 times. That should be enough to ascertain your blessing's protective capability. Please begin whenever you're ready. I shall be observing from a safe distance. Commencing ethereal exposure testing. Repeat, commencing etheric exposure testing. Retreat to a safe distance if you are not the subject. Alright, I gotta follow a popping lantern. What the Disney bullshit is going on here? Readying ether, please stand back. Oh, now it wants me in there. Warning, discharging ether. You're struck by a powerful blast of ether, but suffer no ill effect. Subject has no impressible urge to empty their stomach. Confirmed. Resuming test. Please follow. You are struck by no. Yep. Subject stomach and bowel integrity holding. Confirmed. Resuming test. Please follow. Alright, 2 more to go. Why does it have to hop along? Back. Blessing still shielded me from it. Subject fortitude rated impressive. No irregularities confirmed. Resuming test. Please follow and brace for final charge. Alright, last one. Ether exposure testing concluded. Please collect and deliver me to the supervising alchemist. Alright, here you go. Ah, you've returned! And not on your knees, a promising sign, but come, let me take the deep off your hands. Here you go. Thank you, I shall replenish its ether for when we test the talisman. No dizziness or nausea or anything of the sort? If you're feeling perfectly fine? Yep. Then strength of your blessing is beyond doubt. There is no risk that the tower will corrupt your ether. With this, we can request your aid with the task ahead with easy heart. You're a capable warrior too, are you not? Would you be amenable to assisting me with another errand? You see, our talisman requires you to use a special ink, but we have exhausted our stores of a key ingredient for it, spirit weed. The herb grows not far from here, and I would like to go and harvest some. With the recent spate of kidnappings, however, we Arcasadora travel alone at our peril. Will you not come with me as an escort? I would compensate you for your troubles, of course. Sure. I'm in your debt. Without further ado, let us head to Kajia's footsteps. It is situated on the road which runs east of the Great Work. I may simply imagine it, but I feel as though we're being followed. Look up, Magnarmus! Oh, what's up, you little shits? Let's go. Gods, that gave me a fright, but to think the moment I ventured outside the safety of the work. I think the sisters I asked you to come with me. You're alright, I hope? Good, let us continue on. It isn't far now, just through these pillars and up the rise. And here we are, Kajia's footsteps. Kajia was a great dancer, and those who follow in her will, you know, they come to this place to train and dedicate their dance to their ancestors. A happy benefit of this is that spirit weed grows here in abundance. I will set about harvesting at once, if you would be so good as to stand guard. The kidnappers are like to return soon, but better safe aren't like to return soon, but better safe than sorry. Guard for her.
Yes, that would be Radzad Khan. Hardly anyone has been allowed in or out since our troubles with the tower began. The faithful citizens huddle inside the city walls, and commerce has all but ground to a standstill. I pity the satrap, the trials he must be facing.
What can you tell me of the satrap?
Well, he is the most important person in Radzad Khan. Long ago, this island was home to two tribes of Matanga, the Gajasura and the Arkasotra. When the Aura came to these shores, It was the Arca Sodra with whom they joined forces. Together they defeated the war like Gajasura, forcing them to flee Thavnair altogether. Peace and prosperity reigned for a time, until a clan of Hjord from the mainland decided they wanted the island for themselves. It was a direct ancestor of the present satrap who arbitrated that conflict and welded the warring factions into the nation we know today. And ever since, a member of that esteemed lineage has inherited this somewhat unique position. You see, by and large, the state is run by the people, but when problems arise, it is the satrap who mediates a solution. The stability provided by the satrap is what has allowed Radz at Han to thrive all these years. And it was the satrap himself who entrusted us with this duty. We will not fail him, nor our countrymen.
What is the delay with the vessel? I told you I need to adjust those ratios.
Would you
I
look who it is?
come all this way to admire one of my splendid towers, and what do I find? Fools attempting to ward off its tempering influence with magic trinkets. I seem to recall a similar experiment in ages past. What was that man's name? Oh, something. Owen? Another body, another time. Who could be expected to remember every trivial detail?
Allowing them to construct such handy talismans would be counterproductive to my plans. And yet, I find myself deathly curious. How will they manage this feat with the limited knowledge and resources at their disposal? Complications be damned. For we cannot escape the nature of our souls. And I, as ever, am my own worst enemy.
I have enough spirit weed at last. It'll last us a good while. Thank you for keeping watch. Let us head back to the great work, shall we? Yep, let us. Ignomus, my thanks again for your assistance with your help. We're that little bit closer to completing our talisman. This isn't much, but please accept it, that it is a token of my gratitude. If you'll excuse me, I shall return to my work on the talisman. Ah, you both are back. Excellent. I have a message for you, Mistress Nidhana. It would seem the stores of Giant Skull are running low. What? But when I last looked, there was still plenty. I suspect that was before Ryanje told everyone about their tempering cure, and Justinian shared his knowledge of the dragons. Your peers have since been inspired to fashion a number of new talisman prototypes. I see. Well, if it leads to new possibilities, then far be it from me to complain. We will need to replenish our stores. I should be happy to lend you attend to this if you like. As much as I appreciate the offer, my dear boy, I can't in good conscience send you out there alone with while kidnappers are at large. Ignomus, loath though I am to press another task on you so soon, might I ask you to fetch the giant skull? In case you're not familiar, giant skull is a type of ore found on the island. Owing to its hardness and ethereal conductivity, it has applications in many disciplines, alchemy not least of all. The quarry where it is found, aptly named Giant Skull Grounds, isn't far away. So it shouldn't take much of your time. May we impose on you once more? Sure. Thank you. Upon arriving at the grounds, we seek out a man named Zenuya. He will furnish you with the new ore. At very least, permit me to accompany you. It so happens I have an errand of my own that I will take me to the outpost nearby. May we borrow a pair of Hamza, Mistress Nidhana? By all means, do try to be patient with them. Those that survived are still in training. I'll bring the Hamza to the entrance. Meet me there when you are ready. Alright, I'm ready. Here are Hamza, Magnomus. If the creatures look familiar, it is because they are close kin to your Eorzean dodos. Hamza have been long kept as livestock in Tavnir, and many a hatchery may be found here. Alas, the largest of these was recently raised by monsters from the tower. On account of said hatchery being situated near the tower, the Radiant host repurposed its remnants as an outpost. That is where my errand takes me, and your own destination is but a stone's throw away. If you have no objections, let us first make for the outpost. We set forth at your word. You are ready? Then let us depart. We only need ride and relax. My bird and I will take the lead, for yours to follow. Let us be off. If you haven't ridden dodos before, be warned that they have a wobbling gait. That spectacular formation outstretching over the water is called Khadga. A word which means sword. The sword legend holds was wielded by Mansuya against the Murga before it was cast down at conflict's end. To the left, and requiring no introduction, is the tower, as you can see. It straddles a small isle. Almost there. Though the main part of the hatchery is atop the cliff, the outpost itself is on the beach. And here we are, manned by the Radiant host. This outpost is our first line of defense against the tower. Oh well, who should it be but young Varshan? On an errand for the satrap. I am. His Excellency bade me to come collect your report. He also wished to express his heartfelt gratitude to the brave men and women of the Radiant Host for their unflagging dedication. We simply do our duty, but we are honored to receive His Excellency's regard. And yet, his boundless benevolence, his treatment of one so young could be regarded as callous. Though we have enjoyed relative peace and calm in the past few days, this remains the front lines of battle, no place for children. Your predecessor too often traveled alone. It's been, what, 2 years now since you took over? I wonder how the fellow was faring. Like those before him, he went on to represent the satrap in foreign lands. Wherever he may now be, I am certain he is well. As for myself, I assure you that all I do of my own volition, and gladly I pray for you. You do not think ill of His Excellency. Certainly not, lad. Whatever happens, my faith in the satrap is unwavering, but still I worry for you. We would be overcome with sadness if something were to befall you, for you are as a little brother to us all. Take care, do you hear? I will not, Abdeen. Thank you. And who might this be? Not Hanish by the look of him. Permit me to introduce Magnanimous Darkblade, of the Eorzean contingent, come to assist in the making of the talisman. Eorzea, you say? Towers have appeared over there too, yes? Tell me, what is the situation like? May I suggest that you exchange information with our soldiers? Both parties will stand to learn something of value, I believe. An excellent idea, given the unprecedented nature of the threat. Some of ours are understandably anxious. We would be glad for any tidings you can share. You two, bring Varshan the latest report and answer any questions he may have. I've heard about you, a visitor from Eorzea. Is there anything you can tell us about the Telophoroi? We know that they are the ones behind the tower, and that they have declared war on the whole world. But why are they doing this? What is it they want? This we don't understand. What, they want to die and take everyone with them? What madness is this? Well, you bet that we won't let those bastards have their way. We'll fight them with everything we have, like our Eorzean and Far Eastern brothers. You wish to know about the tower? To be honest, we know little and less about it ourselves. The Tower of Zot, as folk have been calling it, suddenly appeared where it did on the Isle of Nurner. We're safe from its influence at this distance, but we go too far into the water and you'll expose yourself to its corrupting ether. You're a foreigner, aren't you? How are they dealing with the tower in your homeland? Our struggles are not unique, and our hopes still lie with the talismans. We must keep the monsters contained until they're ready. It occurs to me that I have yet to properly introduce our company. We are the Radiant Host, a military order under the Satrap's command. Our duty is to preserve peace in the land, be it patrolling the streets or dealing with heretofore unknown threats such as now. We train hard and admit only capable warriors into our ranks. Even so, we've struggled to contend with the fiends from the tower. Though we succeed in striking them down on the two occasions they came in force, we had to pay a heavy price. What of the towers in Eorzea? Did they likewise spawn monsters? Yes, they do. So it's much the same everywhere. With every nation struggling, we cannot expect calls for the outside aid to be answered. Finished speaking with the soldiers, have you? I hope it was enlightening for you as it was for them. As a neutral nation and trading hub, both Rides at Hand ordinarily receives a steady stream of news from abroad. Alas, this stream dried up when trading vessels stopped coming. Amidst the dearth of information, everyone will have been grateful for your account. But come, you had best see to your original errand, as mine will keep me here a while longer. However, I'm afraid I cannot guide you the rest of the way. Worry not, the path is straightforward, but you need follow the road east upon the Hamza. You will arrive before you know it. Brief though it was, I enjoyed our time together. Till we meet again. Alright, let's go. I got another player over there, it looks like. Almost there. As soon as you arrive, yep. Bird dashes off. All right. All right. Hi, this is indeed the Giant Skull grounds. I am Zenuiha. Is there something you require? Giant Skull for the alchemists, you say? But of course they shall have it. They labor tirelessly to deal with the tower, and 'tis the least we can do to provide them with the materials they need. Anything else at level 80 I can grab? Black Mage. Here you are, a stack of the purest Giant Skull. We always set some aside for our alchemist friends. When you deliver it, let the good folk of the great work know that we're grateful for their efforts. If they need more, they need but ask. Alright, now I gotta go back to the great work, and it'd be better if I teleported. Let's go. This vehicle's faster than their dodos anyway. Ah, welcome back, Magnormus. Dear, I hope you had the Giant Skull. Oh my, such fine specimens. Thank you so much for bringing these. We now have everything we need to make our next prototype. One that should be capable of passing our most rigorous tests. Take that back. No. When it is ready, it will be time for the true test. So please, take your ease while you can.
I see our taskmasters have allowed you a moment's respite as well. You have to hand it to these alchemists. They are determined to see this endeavor of theirs succeed. I've never been one for blind optimism, but I sincerely get the sense they're close to a breakthrough.
They had better be, or all this effort was for naught.
The peoples of Eorzea, of the Far East, of Thavner, children of this star united in common cause against a dire threat. Yet ere they succumbed to suicidal madness, were not the Telophoroi born of her body as were we? They who cling to life and the promise of the morrow's dawn, against they who desire death and an ending of their own orchestration. The victors of this war alone will hold the right to answer the question of existence, of its meaning, and its worth.
Poetic and ominous to a fault. That said, if it's an existential debate in nature, then our arguments might not be as persuasive as you'd think. Fandaniel wants to die and take everyone with him in an orgy of pain and suffering. An utterly vile and unforgivable idea. And yet, when spat upon by fate and wailing in the deepest pit of despair, who among us can say they have not entertained similar thoughts? There are nights black as pitch, bereft of hope, and no words of comfort can reach you. And it's all you can do to grit your teeth and choke back the bile.
The more you see and suffer life's injustices, the more difficult they become to bear. Vengeance is nurtured in similar soil. Though your anger has a broader focus, the sentiment is much the same. A fervent desire to destroy others, to see them drown in torment, as you have.
That about sums it up. The will to endure is not always as strong as the urge to burn it all down and salt the earth. Survival be damned. It's a struggle, often close and brutal.
Indeed. Well, I, for one, shall pray survival proveth more appealing in the end.
As will I. Besides, our chances are much improved when we've the company of others committed to the cause of life. Our vengeful dragoon here is proof of that. What is it? What did you see?
Little theater kid twerp.
Are you sure? If he knows we've been working on a countermeasure.
It holds. The vessel holds! This is the one!
At long last! Look! We have finally created a talisman strong enough to withstand our experiments! We've named it a warding scale for the time being. With this in your possession, your soul should be completely shielded from corruptive ether.
Afforded such protection, any one of us may approach the towers without fear. Thou hast mine admiration. 'Tis an invention of historical significance.
I thank you for your kind words. But I would prefer you keep them unsaid until we test the talisman's efficacy in the field. It is for the next stage of our plan that we summoned you in the first place, to accompany me to the Tower of Zot. Should the scale prove effective, as I very much hope it will, then you'll have little to do. But should the effect be weaker than anticipated, I must ask that you restrain me, or knock me senseless.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that.
Either way, we are fortunate to have you with us.
Nidana, are you certain you wish to do this?
If others are to trust our creations, then we must have faith in them first. And as the senior researcher, it falls to me to lead by example. But should I fail to return, then learn what you can from this attempt and apply it to the next. Our work must continue. Is that clear?
We'll keep an eye on the place while you're away. Assuming Fandaniel is lurking about, there's no telling what mischief he has in mind for us, or you. Be on your guard.
Shall we be on our way? I'll have one of the soldiers at the hatchery prepare us a boat, and we can set out from the northern shore. I'll see you there.
Way back. This is a rather finer boat than I had expected, but I won't complain. All that remains is to board on and be on our way. Oh, and if I should become corrupted, do not stay your hand. Of course, I pray it does not come to that, but you must protect yourself. Other alchemists can fulfill my role, but you and your blessing are one of a kind, and perhaps our only hope for toppling this tower. For all our sakes, do not hesitate to do what must be done, whatever that may be. Well, the longer I draw this out, the more nervous I become. Let's be off.
We should soon cross the threshold of the tower's influence. Any moment now. It's working! And you are still yourself? Then I'd like to see how it fares closer to the tower if we could.
How do you guys think this will go?
So far, so good. The scale's protection appears to be holding. If we can just make it to the tower's entrance. A few more steps. Praise be to the sisters, we made it! And the scale has proven itself to be everything we hoped it would be. Now we can focus on production. Once we've equipped and returned with an entire survey team, this menace will soon give up its secrets.
Do calm down. You'll only hurt yourself thrashing about like that.
Stop! Oh, you can't do this! Please!
A little late for heroics, I'm afraid. The similarities are striking. My! Such hostility!
Yep, that's the whole plot of these towers.
Never before has my artistry so displeased. My patrons of old would have positively squealed in delight, though, between you and me, I find gushing praise exhausting.
Talking about.
Allow me to tell you a story. Surely you've yet to hear the one about Van Daniel, the sundered Ascian. I inherited the position and the soul of the Van Daniel who sat on the convocation in the time of the final days, theoretically speaking. Practically speaking, that fact is of no consequence. I was born and lived as, well, me. Eventually, I was recruited into the Ascians and imbued with the former Van Daniel's knowledge and memories, but I never felt that they were truly a part of who I am. How to explain? Perhaps if I told you who I was before my Ascian embrace, although that chapter too is a past I've long since discarded. I have it on good authority you've poked your nose into an Allegan ruin or two. Yes? Then I expect you've heard of me. The old me.
At your service.
Gonna watch one of his flashbacks.
Imagine a nation of unbridled prosperity. Every need met. Day
He's the
after
dude with the
day
hat from the
of
Crystal Tower.
unbroken, unshakable peace. Existence fulfilled and ripe for decay.
You are a genius without peer, Amon. However do you conceive of such delightful experiments? That fool was beside himself with panic when he awoke with the head of a bull. Even his cries for help emerged as so much guttural lowing. Oh, the memory of it. My poor sides. My friends and I were so consumed by laughter we struggled to breathe.
No more than entertainment for bored wastrels ignorant of its worth. My all-consuming work. But it was not their only indulgence. For they were ever hungry for stimulation. Slaves to the slightest hint that amusement was afoot. Our nation was ailing, but I would see the poison purged. I resurrected a legend, our first and greatest emperor. And just as I had planned, he set our wayward empire back on the path of conquest. An inexhaustible ambition carried us onwards, always onwards. Yet, he who delivered to us such glory was not to be satisfied.
Heed me, Armon. No matter how vast one's empire, or full one's treasure vault, all is rendered meaningless by death. In the end, all is lost.
You know as well as I that the Emperor stands to lose this war, and so I have come to claim you. For while your methods leave something to be desired, we cannot deny the results of your work. And as fortune would have it, the seat of Van Daniel, your rightful seat, lies vacant and waiting. Take your place amongst your peers, rather than die a pointless death amidst the ashes of your doomed nation. Send one of your clones to the Crystal Tower that you might see for yourself. See what lies ahead.
The fall of the Empire affirmed the truth. Majestic and tragic, as the Emperor foresaw. Scheme as you like, build as you will, nothing endures. What is life but a brief jaunt ending in emptiness?
Right, I watched his flashback and he disappeared.
So easily distracted. Why, I almost left without saying farewell.
Did you turn the reverb down on your mic?
As for your friend, you needn't worry. These pawns are far more useful to me alive as fuel for the primals. If you attempt to pull them free, they will die. So, enjoy tackling that conundrum with your comrades. We shall meet again! Not in one of these minor spires, oh no, but somewhere more suitably grandiose. Your favorite playmate is ever so eager to see.
Oh, you are returned, but where is Mistress Nidhana? On the Manusia Preserve, just when we had succeeded in making the talisman. I must report this at once. Meanwhile, please return to the great work. There we go. Something's gone awry, hasn't it? What happened? So it was Fandaniel after all. Damn that bastard. sure you wanted to do more, but you were right to return here first. We must tread warily lest we endanger Nidhana and the other captives. First, we must inform everyone of the situation, Nidhana's colleagues included. I'll call them together for a gathering, but I think it would be best if you were the one to explain. I was the one that was there. Oh, Nidhana. Can you answer me this? Oh, Nidhana is trapped in the tower. She's still alive, yes? Yep. Then we must make with warding sails, as many as we can. The prototype works perfectly. This Nidhana proved at peril to herself. So let us make more scales, that she and all those who were taken might be saved. As alchemists, this is how we will help win the fight. My friends, the satrap has been made aware of the tragedy. He offers his heartfelt condolences and reiterates his pledge to provide you with all that you require. To that end, he bade me give you this link pearl, that he might personally discuss the production of the warding scales with you. And for your Eorzean visitors, I bear an invitation. In her report, Mistress Nidhana noted that your vital contributions to the talisman's creation. The fact came to the satrap's attention, and in recognition of your deeds, he wishes to meet you. In addition to thanking you in person, he would also discuss further avenues of collaboration. And so, if it is agreeable, will you not accompany me to Rad's at Hand for an audience with His Excellency? We should be honored, of course. Closer cooperation between our lands can only be the benefit of all. Then it is settled. Please come to the gates of the east of the Giant Skull grounds. I will show you into the city. Right. Following Varshan. Almost there. All present? Then let us proceed. Going to the great front of the tower, the city is currently on a state of high alert, and strict restrictions are in place for entry. Though you have been granted special permission, I ask that you remain close with me at all times.
A vast rock squats upon Thavnair, and to its stony surface clings the city of Rad's at Han. Ye who enter here are subject to the scrutiny of gods, the gate's most watchful eye.
Alright, you guys watching this part's important.
The orb which beholdeth the truth of all things. Pass beneath its hot and piercing gaze, bearing down like a second midday sun. The fragrant haze, a mixture of sweet incense and acrid smoke. The cries of merchants mingled here with lively melodies accented by dancers' feet. Travelers seduced by vivid sound and colors were once swallowed up by patchwork streets. But no such scenes to savor now. To what somber present does that divine eye bear witness?
Here we are, Megadota. It seems a shame to bring you here directly. Under normal circumstances, it would have been my pleasure to show you the sights.
And it would have been our pleasure to see them. Alas, it seems our tour of the city will have to wait.
I'm afraid so. Come, we should head inside. Your Excellency, may I present our honored visitors?
Ah, splendid. Most splendid. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Ahawan, Satrap of Radzatan. Our alchemists tell me your assistance was invaluable in the creation of the warding scale. Such deeds ought to be recognized in person. Thus did I have young Varshan convey you here forthwith. On behalf of my people, may I express to you our sincere gratitude. A regrettable incident indeed. Her colleagues insist that we honor her wishes and trust in the talisman, that it will be instrumental in saving Nidana and the others. I am eager to hear your opinion on the matter, so let us not stand on ceremony. Come, sit.
I think not.
Uh-oh.
This charade has gone on long enough. Show yourself.
Forgive me, but were you expecting musicians, perhaps? There are no performers waiting in the wings at present, but arrangements could be made if you'd prefer.
Nay, he hath the right of it.
Pay no attention to the dragon behind the curtain.
Raise the curtain.
As you wish.
You travel as assistants to the students of Valdesian, but you are known to me. Even here have we heard of the scions of the Seventh Dawn. I am Vritra, and for years uncounted hath this isle served as mine abode.
Vritra, of the first brood, sibling to Hraesvelga and Nidhogg.
Aye, mine elder brothers, of Midgard's Sorma's spawn, I was last to hatch.
Well, isn't this a surprise? We were told Radzat Han had an alliance with a dragon. Not that a great worm sat in the satrap's own hall.
A necessary subterfuge, as the true tale of our nation history illustrates most effectively. In the beginning, the rock upon which our city is built was home to Vitra, and Vitra alone. In time, the ancestors of the Matanga came to the island and established a foothold. But never did they dare disturb the worm's lair. Next to arrive with the Aura, adopting the example of their Akasodra allies, they too treated Vitra with reverence and respect. And for many years, an understanding between our forefathers and the Great Worm endured. Until marauding heroes from the mainland came, threatening to shatter our peace and tranquility. When it seemed all would be drowned in blood, Vitra himself came forth and quelled the rising conflict. A peaceful accord was reached, and oaths sworn in Vitra's name. Thus began the dragon's governance of the fledgling state, which was to grow into Radzat Han.
But if Vritra is still here, then your position as satrap is just...
A charade, yes. And one which my family has performed faithfully for generations.
Many envy the great worms their power. Were it known that I ruled here, then the fires of war would burn without end. I would not be the flame which consumeth my people. Those few who joined me in laying our country's foundations were, perforce, sworn to secrecy.
Your eye, it was taken.
"'Tis here, buried within the semblance of flesh. The body before thee is but a simulacrum, constructed by the finest artisans of Radzat Han. With mine eye nestled within, it doth serve as an inconspicuous vessel for my will."
So the kid's secretly a robot.
That
with a
would
dragon's
explain
eye
why
inside
I
it.
felt the presence of a dragon upon our first meeting.
I am woven with words fashioned to deceive such arcane senses. Though 'twas short-lived, it seemeth thy fusion with my brother hath left thee much altered, Estinian warm blood. From the very first, we sensed the nature of one another, yet did neither one of us bare his fangs. That is all I need know of thee for now.
With my secret thus revealed, I have for you a proposal. Not as a worm of the first brood, but as the ruler of Radz at Han. With all haste must we take in hand the finished talismans and breach this foul spire. Thence, should it lay within our power, dispel its wicked influence. Yet even with the assurance of the warding scales, the narrow confines of the tower doth limit the size of our force.
And thus denied strength in numbers, thou must choose thy soldiers with care.
Just so. Yet though our radiant host is formidable, I see a sure path before me. Thou and thy comrades have contended with a multitude of primal beings. Most recently, thou didst cast down false gods in Padelthan and Cartanau, I am told.
Yep, that was me. I did that.
Upon that strength, I would call. The Scions have proven themselves the most capable, and I ask that you serve as the tip of our spear. Talismans would, of course, be provided for each of thy companions. And should you agree to this undertaking, more will be provided to make use of as you see fit.
There's no denying it's a dangerous proposition, but the rewards may far outweigh the risk. Just think of what we might accomplish if we could equip all our allies with warding scales. I worry, however, that even the four of us may be too few for what you have in mind. Might we regroup with our friends first to discuss the matter?
'Tis no trifling task that I have laid before you. Go, steam your hearts and hone your plans. Such time as you require shall be spent in crafting your protective charms.
It seems a quick trip back to Charlian is in order.
Wilt thou not lend thine aid?
Whether your request be made as a great worm or the ruler of Radz at Han, I see no reason to refuse, nor will I.
I am in thy debt.
What are you confused about, Crash? Dragon puts his eye on a robot to watch over his people. Without getting discovered. That's what happens. That meeting took a rather unexpected turn, but we now have a clear objective ahead of us. Let us rejoin our comrades in Charlayan, and muster a suitable crew for our foray into the Tower of Zot. Oh, and if you haven't already done so, be sure to attune to the Aetheryte here before departing, unless you, of course, you enjoy violent nausea. Alright, to Charlayan. I'll just... Alright. Just as I was getting used to the balmy Thavnir, we're back in chilly Charlayan. Take care not to catch your death, eh? We need you for the battles to come. Now then, everyone appears to be here, so let us take stock of all the developments and discoveries. Totally happens all the time, yep. Since there has been progress on both investigations, shall we share the findings from our respective locales?
Your time in Thafnir has certainly been eventful. In my opinion, carrying out Vitra's request and assaulting the Tower of Zot should be our highest priority.
I agree. While I still have questions concerning the Forum and their grand undertaking, we have all but exhausted our avenues of investigation. Simply pressing them any harder on the subject will almost certainly result in our expulsion. Therefore, I suggest we explore the ethereal sea connection by way of a letter to Master Matoya, then make our way to Thavnair.
I wonder, even with the protection these talismans afford us, what can we hope to achieve once inside the tower? According to Orenvold and Fodola's report, they were unable to free the Emolja. Worse, their attempts triggered the tower's defenses, which led to a summoning of Luna Afrit.
What does it tell us that the Spires even have such defenses? Simply pulling a prisoner from the wall is fatal, thus the direct approach is doomed to failure from the outset. Any further measures to dissuade such actions seem unnecessary. Unless, of course, there is a way to free the prisoners without killing them. Then it stands to reason that any intruders will be met with overwhelming force.
The towers appeared throughout the world in but the twinkling of an eye. 'Twas by magical means these structures were raised, I surmise. A spire thus conjured must needs be maintained, and I suspect an arcane catalyst, some manner of core, doth lie hidden within. Destroy the core, and the tower ceaseth to be, thus liberating the captives without harm.
So we can hope, and I would prefer to enter the tower with a working theory than with no plan at all.
Assuming Ishtola's reasoning is correct, the chances of the defenses remaining dormant are small to none. Any primals will have to be dealt with, and defeating one will likely only lead to the summoning of another. Our every victory will only compound the prisoner's suffering.
May we not then divide our forces? Those proficient in healing will focus on sustaining the captives. That duty can be covered by Urianger, Kryl, Yostela, and myself. The remaining scions will proceed with the search for the core. Admittedly, this strategy puts both parties at greater risk, but it should bolster our chances of saving the Arcosodral by a considerable margin.
You sure Alphino's in the right group?
If you're to fight primals, then you'd best have at least one healer with you.
And I am more than happy to fulfill that role. I found wielding a sage's armaments to be rather intuitive, and look forward to testing them against a more challenging foe.
It seems we have a plan. All that remains is to carry it out. I will inform Radzit Han of our movements, so let us make our preparations and regroup near the tower.
A military post in what's left of the Hamsa hatchery should serve as a convenient staging.
That sounds perfect. And remember, the experimental aetheryte at the confluence is there for those who need it, so there's no excuse for being late.
Did the great work. Ah, our friend of Eorzea. We've been expecting you. You and yours will lead the mission into the tower, I'm told. The warding scales will be delivered soon. Until then, please stand by at the boat while we have them ready. When your fellows arrive, I will direct them to join you. We pray for your safety and success. Alright. So, go stand by the beach. If this is the future Aetheryte travel, I think I'll stick to boats. No warning, however emphatic, could have prepared me for that. On account of which, we are a little late, but fighting fit, mostly. My friends, thank you to permit me to thank you for accepting this mission. You must be, we should still call you Vershawn, I suppose. Indeed, it would not do to confuse our soldiers. Very well then. For our part, we are humbled that you should see fit to entrust us with your warding scales. Please convey as much to His Excellency. One for each of you. Please accept them with my blessings. Oh, thanks. With these we can go anywhere, and those with the blessing of light can go. Not only for this operation either, but all the ones to come. We can finally break your monopoly on primals. In that case, they're all yours from now on. Have them. But I'm afraid we can't let you retire just yet. You're the Scion's brightest star, after all. If everyone is amenable to it, let us review the strategy for good measure. As previously agreed, we will divide into two groups. Ignomus and his band will break through the tower's defenses and locate its core. Meanwhile, the rest of us will tend to the prisoners, who will doubtless want for healing due to the duress and repeated summonings. The primals which the tower bringeth forth shall be the deities of Thavnerian myth. And we have no prior experience with such foes. Pray exercise the utmost caution when confronting them. We commence the operation at your word, my friend. For the people of Thavner, nay, the entire world, we must prevail. Accessible. You hopped over to ferry? I can invite you to party if you hop to ferry. I guess I should too. I'll hop worlds real quick. Hop worlds real quick. Gotta return my character to homeworld first. Very confirmed. On. And invite the party. All right, run that tower. What happens if I try to do this? Let's see. Well, that's crap. Next one. Yep. Alright, that was good. And kind of bad. Alright. Alright. There we go. What else do we got? You played 3 Lords of Dominion and lost, but you're getting better. That's progress. Progress is good. Only that would pop. Come on. Just need a healer. Just need one healer. She's out. It's her dad's birthday, so she's out seeing him. Tower of Zot. Come here, you little shits. And he is dead. Next. Coming through. Let's go. Alright, first boss time. Yeah, the new boss music. Buster. next, get some blood spillers in there. Another tank buster. And she is down. Alright, next. Tiny pull here. Everyone AoE these. I see that Frank's got the old shotgun out now. You doing that? You enjoying the shotgun? Because I freaking love the shotgun. Alright, next room. Oh man, I got close on that one, but that healer had me. Good. She's gonna keep aiming at random people till she gets everyone. There we go. Alright, so for this boss, stand away from the other things because they all explode. And stand behind the one that doesn't emote when it comes to that. You'll know what I'm talking about when you see it. The one that's standing still, you'll want to stand behind that one. And here we go again. Alright, here it comes. Alright, which one's standing still? Ah, this one is. There we go. Oh, here we go again. Alright. That one. Got her. Come on. Get down. That hit enough of them. Oh, shoot. That happens. Well. It's cool. Is everyone together? We all ready for this? Let's do it again! Follow me if you dare. There's only 4 guys left. I think we should be able to take 4 guys. Alright, on to the last boss. No matter the cost, we must protect the tower. Let's go. Let's bring it on! You were invited. You're here now, aren't you? Got a stack. Just wipe out the yellow one first. Use this and this. And hit her with that. Get blood spillers out. It'll become way easier once the yellow one goes down. %. All right, first one's down. Get this. Get another one. Uh-oh. All right, and second one's down. Last one. And down she goes. Keep getting gear. All right, anyway. Let's go. And the combination. Cool.
Is everyone all right?
We fortified the captives with what magics we could. Have the defenses been disabled? All appears quiet for the moment.
The lower floors were disturbing enough, but this place feels wrong. The ether is heavy and thick, like wading through a quagmire.
Giggity.
I believe we stand in the tower's beating heart. What sayest thou, Stola?
I see it. Ether siphoned from the land runs up through the spire, flowing to a single point.
Yes, really.
This is the core we seek. Yet something is off. As large as this structure is, it siphons far more ether than is required to sustain it.
The food stuff place.
It is as if the core is feeding on the energy, consuming it. I need to take a closer look. is something there embedded inside the core. A man's limb.
This is what we came to destroy?
Yep.
Yes, if you would be so kind.
Go for it, Ostinian.
And that should be the end of it.
What now?
My theory that the tower might come crashing down following the core's destruction doth appear to be correct.
Nice.
Bully for you! And how are we supposed to survive the fall?
What of the prisoners below?
The floor beneath our very feet dissolves. Brace yourselves!
I pray I'm not too late.
I won't break them, it'll be fine. Tower's gone. We defeated our first tower, guys. Good job.
Oh, what happened? Where are we?
Top smashing intensifies.
By my reckoning, we're still on the island where the tower stood. But 'tis as if it never existed. Hardly a scratch. But how?
Raha wove a levitation spell at the last moment. Large enough to catch everyone, it would seem.
That explains the lack of obvious injuries.
The expenditure of so much ether has taken its toll. He will need plenty of rest, but should otherwise be none the worse for wear.
Then the immediate problem is what to do with our new friends here. They'll be much changed for their time in the tower. Even if their bodies are intact, I doubt we could say the same for their minds.
Angelo and I will take care of that.
I have every faith in you, Alize, but there are just too many for you to treat alone.
We'll send at once to Eorzea for more Porksies, and call on the local mages to lend a hand.
Hail, Scions! We were watching the tower when it simply disappeared. What happened here?
We killed
it.
it.
Vanished, and thy people delivered. They are, however, in need of treatment, and we of a secure locale and helping hands to assist us in its provision.
You shall have all this and more. Come, let us convey these unfortunate souls to the city.
Thanks, magical robot boy. Let's go. The liberated prisoners are being transported to Razathan for treatment. Alistair and Ishtola will oversee the administration of the tempering treatment, with support from those who know a healing spell or two. We'll go and join them in the city once you've had a moment to catch your breath. I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick, and then I'll come back and continue. Alright, I'm back. Let's go. The Jewel of Thavnir. Had enough rest, have you? Well, you were never one to being idle. Right, Varshan bade us come to the Megaduda at our earliest convenience. The others will join us there once we have finished tending to the prisoners. Oh wait, on second thought, you and Estinian should go on ahead. I need to make a quick detour by the Great Work. We left Graha in the alchemist's care, you see? Best to fetch him before he's crammed into a specimen jar. Just you and me, then. The guardsmen at the gate should wave us through. Like a doo-doo. Man, I would have found that joke funny if I was like 6 years old. Aren't I? I don't think I am. Multiply that by like 6 and that's where I am, I think. Equip Radiant Guardsman. Let's see how far we can get tonight. Ah, honored scions, you're free to enter at your leisure. As I cannot leave my post, I'm afraid you must make your own way. Did you require directions in the city? The sentry stationed at the fountain atop the steps should be glad to assist you. Alright, going in. Though I have been to Razathan before, this place is a veritable maze. Rather than risk getting lost, we'd best ask direction from the sentry at the fountain. Lead the way, and don't expect me to act as your tour guide like a certain others. Alright, Estinian, let's go. The edgiest team. Ah, Mr. Magnarmus, I presume. I understand you are here for an audience with the satrap. If you require directions to Megaduda, I should be glad to provide them. The satrap's residence is situated in Dharma, the highest part of Razdat. To get there, I would ordinarily recommend a route that takes you by the bazaars in the city's north. Due to the state of alert, however, most businesses are currently closed, and the Aetheryte disabled. As such, I will provide you with an alternate path. First, please ascend to the steps next to this fountain, then continue left. There will be 4 steps, and upon ascending them, you will emerge on Pakasa's path. Proceed through the large door on the right, and you will arrive at Redeva Fibers. Within, you will find another sentry who will give you further guidance. In other words, we head out. Sounds straightforward enough. Get it wrong. This way. There we go. Heading to the Megaduda, are you? In that case, please follow this hallway to my right, and through the door at the top of the stairs. You'll emerge at the entrance of the airship landing, where another sentry should be on hand to assist you. Incidentally, if you ascend the steps to either side of me, you'll find the workshops of Rudia Fibers. Though you're free to observe the artisans, take care not to lose your way. Oh, wait. It's that way. These stairs. If you're here for an airship, I'm afraid that all flights have been suspended until further notice. So the state of alert is still in effect. Perhaps it's for the best. That aside, we're not here for an airship. We have business at the Megaduda. Oh, in that case, permit me to direct you. From here, it's quite simple. Really, ascend these steps, then continue straight ahead across the bridge. You cannot miss it. Greetings and welcome to Megaduda. May I inquire your business? We are members of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. Come at invitation of His Excellency. Ah, of course, we've been expecting you. I will show you to the audience chamber if you would please follow me. Alright, here we go. As we all just stand around awkwardly.
Are we the last to arrive? I hope we've not kept you waiting.
Not at all. Your comrade is feeling better, I trust.
Much better, thank you. Harness remedies are certainly potent, in more ways than one.
One becomes accustomed to the taste, although I hope you never have cause to do so. Pray, take your ease.
Full glad I am to see you all unharmed.
Valiant scions, for your heroism, you have my boundless gratitude. You cast down that dire tower and set free its hapless captives. You cleanse their souls of its corrupting influence. No words of thanks will suffice. In place of platitudes, I offer a bounty of warding scales. Pray accept your due reward, along with the goodwill of Radzat-Han.
Alchemists throughout the land were put to work in the forging of your talismans. The finished ones have been collected, and now await you at the High Crucible of Alchemia. Present this letter when you are ready to take them into your possession.
We are humbled by your generosity. Know that the inventive wisdom of Radzat-Han will be vital in restoring serenity to our star.
Every single one of those scales came from you, didn't they? You must still be in such pain.
'Tis of no moment. A mere annoyance compared to the dreadful suffering inflicted upon this land and its people.
Albeit brief, my involvement in the Dragonsong War afforded me a glimpse of the myriad sorrows which consumed both dragon and man. Though you were half a world away, such tragedies as befell your kin must have affected you deeply. And yet, you chose to live among men.
In the age when that conflict first bloomed, my choice had already been made. In some distant place, man slew dragon, and dragon slaughtered man. Yet no hate could I muster for those smiling faces which did look to me for guidance. Not even my brother's righteous rage could rally me to his cause. I huddled here, secret and still, hoping against hope that which I had built would remain untouched by the chaos and carnage.
'Twould seem we share the same desire for peace, great Vritra. To that end, I wonder if we might trouble you with another question. The Telophoroi are intent on recreating the final days, an apocalyptic event which we know to predate the sundering of the star. As the longest lived among us, know you aught of this terrible cataclysm?
Nay. When war and strife drove my sire from his home, he crossed the great expanse with only our unhatched eggs as company. He alighted upon a shattered source, its 13 reflections long since scattered beyond the rift. Of events preceding his arrival, he knoweth naught, save that which Hydralin hath deigned to disclose.
I see. So again, 'tis the inscrutable Hydaelyn to whom we must look for answers.
Seek you to divine the will of this star? If so, I have a tale which may afford you some small comfort. 'Tis a story from my youth, many, many years ago. To my sire, I once posed the question, of all the stars in the sky, why didst thou settle upon this one? To which Midgardsummer did reply, 'twas the last bastion of hope. He believed so long as Hydaelyn endured, so too might dragonkind. Solemn and portentous were his words. What deeper meaning they held, I could not, dared not pursue. 'Tis a stone I've left unturned ever since. Yet take you solace in the knowledge that whatsoever Hydaelyn does strive towards, 'tis an ideal which hath earned my sire's conviction.
Thank you, Vritra. You've given us warm reassurance in a world gripped by cold uncertainty.
While I'm sure we all have a great many questions, I think it's time we collect the talismans and be on our way. Our fight against the Telophoroi is far from finished.
We must take our leave, but please do inform us if we can provide any further assistance.
Prithee, a moment. There is one whom my sire hath judged worthy of honor and respect. The one known to men as Eorzea's champion. This hero of renown and rumor, 'tis thee.
In guards armor. Cross paths, yes.
I knew it to be so. From man and dragon alike have I learned of thine exploits. 'Twas a revelation most pleasing that thou, a child of man, had gained Midgardsummer's trust. But alongside mine elation runneth a rivulet of dread. For upon thy life's reel wind too many threads of fate, power, wheel enmeshed with woe. Amidst this tangled knot thou shalt know no rest. 'Tis an endless confluence of forces, a struggle without surcease. More terrible still is the attrition wrought upon thy companions, as they are swept up in the storm of thine existence. Take heart and protect them well. They will be your strength and your salvation. The hope thou wilt need come the end. Even cowering behind my curtain, the suffering of the powerful. I have watched my siblings driven mad by loss. Thus do I exhort thee to spare no effort to keep thy loved ones safe.
Apologies. We hadn't meant to interrupt.
It's just that we do have a history of suddenly collapsing, and when you didn't follow us out...
'Tis I who must apologize. I have detained your champion overlong with idle chatter. Go. At war's end, I pray I welcome thee back into my hall, where together with thy joyful comrades, you may toast your triumph.
Otters. Let's go. So what were you talking about? Nothing. Very well, if you say so. The others have gone ahead to the High Crucible. Let's catch up to them. The attendant was kind enough to give me directions to the High Crucible. First, let us return to the mulberry orchard. From here, we're supposed to follow the path left and past the mulberries. Oh, I can attune these. Cool. Where the street turns, enter the door straight, then descend the steps. I thought the Crystarium was confusing, but it wouldn't compare to rides at hand. The architecture and decorations make it even harder to get your bearings. Anyway, let's see where this door takes us. Here's the Aetheryte Plaza. So far, so good, and there isn't much further to go. Here, we just need to cross the other side of the hall, then pass through the larger of two doorways. High Crucible lies beyond. I suspect the others have already collected the warding scares. Come, let us join them. We're last, of course, but that's it. But we at least we found the place.
These are the talismans we were promised.
Yes, and I made a quick count. There are far more than we could have hoped for. Enough to outfit an entire company of soldiers, in fact. Considering the involved process, That they were able to manufacture so many in such a short span of time is nothing short of a miracle.
Once we have distributed them to our allies in Eorzea and the Far East, we'll have a fighting chance to bring down the other spires, just as we did with the Tower of Zot.
Or we could use them to invade Garlemald proper, and strike directly at the Telophoroid's base of operations.
Ooh, I like where that's going.
Of course, we would need to consult with various Alliance leaders before such a drastic measure could even be contemplated. To which end, I could set out forthwith and present the idea to each of our allies in person.
Pray allow me to undertake some few of those journeys. I find myself restless and in need of purposeful duties.
I can head eastward. Bosnia and Dalmasca are just a short hop from here. And Doma's shinobi network should come in handy for passing on the word.
We shall share the burden then. Meanwhile, I think it best that you and the others take the talismans back to the Baldessian Annex. We must keep them safe and secure until we've decided upon a course of action.
Please, I must speak with you.
Nidana, you're awake.
Yes, when I spoke with the care...
As you said, Nidana was captured only recently. Such a brief exposure is swiftly cured, so I tended to her before we gathered at Megaduta.
And I am truly grateful that you did. I cannot thank you enough. All of you, for everything you've done. Destroying the tower, rescuing our people. You've saved Thavnair from an awful fate.
Yet who hath truly saved whom? Due in no small part to thine inspirational courage, the alchemists were successful in reproducing warding scales of proven efficacy. Replications of thy work now stand ready to travel across the seas, unto the hands of those who might wield them against this rising evil.
The talisman? Is this true? Oh, I was so groggy from sleep. I didn't even think to ask. Oh, our great work sent across the seas. It was worth it. Oh, it was all worth it.
Look at that! Its color is completely changed.
What do you have there?
Flower that changes color from people's
How
emotions.
unusual. I wonder if the effect is a reaction to Akasha.
I'm afraid I'm not familiar with that term.
Akasha? It is one of the unseen energies defined by Harnish alchemical theory. Though a gross oversimplification, some describe it as an essence influenced by feelings.
You imply that it is distinct from ether?
Foreign scholars often conflate the two, but we see them as separate concepts. Ether is an energy which permeates the land. It exists within animals, objects, even the air we breathe, affecting all through which it flows. Akasha, on the other hand, exists in a domain beyond our reach. A gift bestowed from on high, or torn from the heavens in some traditions. Akasha can neither be created nor destroyed. It is beyond our power to purposefully alter or manipulate. The only thing observed to influence it is an abundance of, I want to say, spiritual emotion. As a veteran of the battlefield, surely you've experienced moments of desperation or exaltation when you've transcended the usual limits of your capabilities. That is a manifestation of Akasha, the invisible essence harnessed by heart, mind, and unyielding spirit.
I really must hear more about this theory. Our disciplines are based entirely upon the idea that ether is the fundamental form of all energy.
I'm glad my haphazard explanation has piqued your interest. But even for us, Akasha is a somewhat abstract field of study. A lack of practical application lends itself poorly to formalized research. Which is why my analysis of your flower can amount to little more than idle speculation. I am sorry.
Nonsense! You have nothing to be sorry for. Your insight is much appreciated.
Shall we depart for Charlian then? I will see to it that the talismans arrive at the Annex.
And we will be in touch once our talks are concluded. I suggest you rest while you can. From here onward, sleep is bound to be in short supply.
Baldessian Annex. Alright. To Old Charlayan. It's good to be back, and with fruit of our labors safely in storage. For now, we have but to wait for the others to return from their respective meetings with the Alliance leaders. As Thancred suggested, you should get some rest in the meantime. Welcome back, Nignarmus. Kryl has appraised me of your recent accomplishments with an amazing feat to eliminate a tower and pave the way to deal with the rest. Well, it isn't much. I've changed your sheets and plumped your pillow. After all, nothing like collapsing in a nice, clean bed after completing a major milestone, be it in getting a thesis or defeating a deiform entities. So, would you like to take a look at your new and improved lodgings now?
Take heart and protect them well.
Good, you're here. You haven't eaten yet, have you? We've bought quite a spread if you're interested. Only the finest dining from the last stand.
Lest you wonder, we invited Estinian as well. But he refused with a rather grim-faced, "No, thank you." I suspect Charlian cuisine is not to his liking.
Oh, I don't know about that. Perhaps our lone wolf just needed some time apart.
What? To perfect his brooding stare? Next time, I'll drag him out by the ear, sit him down in front of a Charlian feast, and see that he eats every last bite.
An excellent idea. Of all people, warriors must take proper meals and rest if they are to maintain a healthy constitution.
Poor Estinian, beset on all sides.
Speaking of one's physical condition, Mistress Kryl, I hear you recently played literal host to Heidelin herself.
And what an experience that was. Tiring, yes, but no lasting harm done. If anything, I should have liked to speak with her longer. I've not felt a hint of her presence since.
Heidelin instructed you to carry that flower, yes? Twill be your guide, test and proof of your conviction. And then something about seeking joy in darkness, was it? Come to think of it, isn't that what happened with Nidana back in Radz at Han?
The flower did seem to radiate a joyful glow, as if reflecting the elation we all felt, the relief of a people with renewed hope.
Indeed, and in turn, I felt buoyed by that radiance. 'Twas akin to spotting a beacon and knowing we were on the right path. I know we've not yet triumphed over the Telophoroi, or learned the full breadth of the Forum's plans. But even within the midst of our struggles, we find small moments of joy to sustain us. Rare and hard-won perhaps, but it is this pursuit of happiness that gives us the strength to carry on day after day. Hey, that's mine.
To the swift the spoils. Though I recall that levitation spell of yours was quick enough.
Only barely. And even at my best, I'm still too slow to wield it effectively in battle. Mayhap I simply require more practice with this new magic.
You unearthed it from the depths of Numenon, I presume?
Aye, and from a veritable mountain of arcane tomes at that. 'Twas necessary to facilitate my solitary explorations.
Or, to put it simply, you used it to sneak around the Forbidden Archives.
Yes, well, after a fashion. tall, you see. The shelves, they're too tall for me. And I could hardly move the library's platforms without attracting attention now, could I?
Oh.
Yeah, a little jealous of those burgers. Let's go with... Are we pushing on until dawn?
I'm not that ambitious. But 'tis pleasant to idle away the hours every once in a while.
Enjoying the bracing cold, I see. Do you not own a warm coat or a cloak? Something in fur? Or fashioned from the skins of your enemies? Or... well, never mind that. I come to you once more as the bearer of bad news. Our tower in Thavnir has been toppled, and I need not tell you by whom. Given how many we have at our disposal, the loss of a single spire is hardly fatal to our plans. It does, however, slow the rate at which we siphon the ether. If they continue to preoccupy themselves with the towers, then all will be well. But should our foe prove bold enough to strike at us here, then the timing becomes questionable.
Our foe is bold enough. Of that, I can assure you.
Yes, very well then. I suppose I must prepare a proper welcome. Honestly, talk of your nemesis is the only thing you seem to enjoy. Does nothing else spark your interest?
No. All else is... equal. Equally tedious. Equally disappointing. The world is a tepid bog into which we sink, too weak to thrash as the mud clings to our eyes and fills our throats till we blissfully choke. But then came the light, blinding and pure and hot, so very hot, enough to set my soul aflame. I basked in the afterglow until the void yawned once more, and then I knew the muck would never claim me again. There was naught for me ahead, so I drew the curtain on all that had come before. Burn. Burn. Let the whole star burn. I will have my contest. I will reclaim my moment.
How wonderful. that the emptiness of death has not dissuaded you from committing your life to its pursuit once more. I don't know whether to envy you or pity you.
You question my disinterest, but what of yours? Despite your noisome antics, I sense you take little pleasure in this endeavor.
Mercy, my lord. Such pointed barbs from one who barely acknowledges my existence. Nevertheless, you are mistaken. For I do find this part somewhat enjoyable. You see, when I was mortal, I would always have the same dream. It was a fragmented thing, disjointed, all the faces incomplete. The setting, too, was unknown to me, so I thought it simply a fantasy of my sleeping mind. Until one day, I realized it was showing me the truth. Much as your dream of the final days enlightened you. And soon, very soon, the rest of the world will see the truth of my dream, too. Yes, I think that is something we can both enjoy.
Alright, I think that's a good place to call it for the night. So, I will catch you guys later. We will continue on to push on to Garlemald next time.